about physical balance, being able to stand on one leg or just walk and stay balanced without falling. Okay, that's very important. Again, it goes without saying that that is important. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and stop this one and go to that one, then come back to this one. In this video, we're going to talk about life balance. So how do you balance your life? We all hear a lot about the phrase work-life balance. What does that mean? Well, before we even dive into something like that, it's very important that you understand what your priorities are. What are your priorities for life? What do you want to contribute to those around you? What do you want to get out of life? Where do you want to be in 10, 15 years? Okay, what do you want your whole life, your legacy to be? What are your priorities? Okay, so in order to achieve those goals, the legacy that we would like to leave behind, the good life we'd like to live now, we need to know what our priorities are. Now, you may already have ideas popping into your head, but I'm going to challenge those ideas with this. The priorities that we usually think we have are not really the priorities that we have in reality. So how do we decide, or how do we figure out what our actual priorities are, as opposed to those that we have in our mind that we think are really good to have, but they are not the real ones. They're not the ones that are most important to us. So we're going to do 3 very simple things, okay? So the first one is this. I want you to make a list of everything that is important to you that you would consider a priority for your life. I want this list to be as extensive as you can make it, and don't censor yourself. So whatever comes out, write it down. Write at least 10 items down. If you can hit 10 and keep going, go for it. Stop at about 100. That's probably way too many. Okay, so write down, let's say you make a list of 20 items. After you make that list, I want you to circle the top 5. What are the top 5 priorities based on the list that you just created? Okay, don't scratch out the others, but just circle the top 5. You can number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you like. That's not required. Okay, so the first thing is make a list of your top priorities for your life. Number 2, I want you to audit your bank accounts. Yes, I want you to go to your bank accounts, pull them up online, or if you have them written down on paper that you track in your checkbook or wherever. I want you to take a survey of, say, 6 months or even a year, maybe even longer than that, and understand where your money goes to. Where does the majority of your money go? And exclude things like, basics of life, food, clothing, shelter. Exclude that. So what's left over? Where does most of your money go? Check that list, where most of your money goes. Does it match any of the 5 priorities that you wrote down earlier? If the answer is no, then these 5 are not your real priorities. Where our money goes, that's where our priorities are. That's where our heart is. Okay, whether we like that or not, that's just reality. So let's say that on your list of 20 items, one of your top 5 is you value, or you have a priority of serving others through charity. And you say that, yes, that's like my number 2 priority. I really think that it's really great to serve others, which is good. We all, I think most of us would agree with that. But does your bank account agree with that? Maybe you look and see that in the last 5 years, you've only donated $5 to charity. That means then, charity, if you said that was your number 2 item, is not really one of your priorities. Okay, as sad as that may sound, it's just reality. Again, where our money goes, that's where our heart, that's where our energy goes. So it's very important that we match the reality with what we are trying to do. So, or flip that vice versa, okay? So, continue to do that with the other items. So do any of them match? If none of them match, then it's a problem, but it's a problem you can solve pretty easily, okay? Number 3 is this. I want you to keep that list And I want you to do the same thing now with your time accounts. Okay, so where does most of your time go? Where does most of your time and your energy go? Again, if you say that it is to charity, and based on how you've spent your time over the last, say, year, maybe 2 years, you find that you've only worked with charity for 30 minutes over 2 years. Okay, you did one event for 30 minutes, and that was 2 years ago. So again, your time, where your time goes, that's really where your heart is. Okay, that's where you put all your energy, and it's going to show you that, well, charity is not my top item. It's on the very bottom of my list now. Don't feel bad about that. This is a exercise to reveal what is actually what are your actual priorities. Okay, so once we know our priorities, let's say that you do the bank account, you do the time account, and there's none of those on your list. Then do a little bit of soul searching and try to figure out if these are things you need to change. Meaning, maybe I need to put my energy somewhere else. I've been putting a lot of my energy in, say, underwater basket weaving for whatever reason. A lot of my money goes to underwater basket weaving. I can either make that a priority, like on my top 5 list, or I just decide, you know what, underwater basket weaving, it's cool, but I probably shouldn't put that much energy into it. In that case, I'm going to take some of that energy, some of that money, and I'm going to put it somewhere else in one of these 20 items that really is a priority, or that I want to be a priority. Okay? So, 5 items from this list of 20, try to match them up to your bank account and to your time accounts. If they don't match, don't freak out. Just do a little bit of soul searching and figure out what your actual top priorities need to be based on who you want to be, based on the legacy, the life you want to live. Okay? Now, we didn't really talk about balancing your life because that is something that's going to take a little bit more. So if you're interested in just a very simple document on how to help you, just a very basic document on how to help you start to balance your life once you have your top, say, 5 priorities figured out, join my email list. Again, it's non-spammy. I'm just going to send you information that you will enjoy, such as how do you balance the life, how do you balance your life based on the priorities that you want to achieve. But also, there will be other things that you may be interested in that I will email you periodically on, and you can opt out of that list at any point, okay? All right, so I hope this is very helpful for you. Again, our physical balance is important, our life balance is important. We want to live the best life. We need to try to get to, on a scale of 0 to 5, let's go for 5 in both areas, all right? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Until next time.